Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining the Iowa Association of Business and Industries Weekly Business Report. This week, we have Kelly Barrick, who is the market lead for U.S. mid-corporate banking at ABI member CIBC. Kelly also serves on ABI's board of directors. So recently, you might have seen a blog post from Kelly about how the financial industry can help with manufacturing and supply chain issues. So what are Iowa financial institutions hearing about and seeing happen with the supply chain?
Yeah, that's a great question, Steffi. Thanks for having me today. Supply chain has been a very fluid conversation over the last year, more so than it had been in the past, because first we were having problems getting supply. Now I think a lot of our Iowa companies are able to get supply, but they're having to be more nimble and they're having to be creative. To your point about my blog, it really does come back to relationships and how do they partner with their vendors? How are they having conversations with not just their tier one suppliers, but also that tier two, who is maybe supplying some of those items to their tier one. So really making that connection and helping everybody realize where the flow of materials is going. The creativity has been really strong. Obviously, as you know, with many Iowa companies, they're really good at getting creative, getting the work done, and rolling up their sleeves to figure out a way to do it. I think they've definitely got through some cost pressure, right? So I say, yes, they can get it, but at the end of the day, all of their operating costs have gone up, whether that's labor, whether it's supply. So they're having to restructure. And from a financing standpoint, we are moving with them.
How can Iowa's financial institutions play a role in helping businesses as they adjust to supply chain issues and kind of see the differences play out?
It's continued to change how we help them. So at the beginning of this cycle, we saw a lot of customers who increased their revolving line of credit, or maybe they fixed some term debt instead of having everything on a variable rate. Now we're seeing that change to how are they structuring their inventory? Is it on a cash flow basis or are they looking at asset based? How are they getting that inventory? Do they need help in making those connections? I know ABI, yourself and Mike and the team have also helped those companies work through just finding those suppliers. Some of our companies are moving from international to domestic from a supplier standpoint. And so we want to help them in all of the facets that we can to make sure that they're able to move the business forward. So although as a financial institution, we're definitely talking a lot about monetary increases and how can we help them through that. We're also helping them extend the relationship by broadening our network, introducing them to people outside of what their scope may have been previously, and connecting different suppliers or manufacturers together.
And you talk a lot about relationship building and making connections. Why is this type of connection so important in the overall big picture?
It's really important because although you might drive by a company, unless you know their story, you don't know how you can help them. So when you and I are talking to somebody at a networking event, we're in a really valuable spot to understand some of the challenges they're going through. At the end of the day, the leaders in our Iowa companies, they're really focused on their business. And when they're not focused on their business, many of them have, families and other items that pull their attention. So from our lens, we really see a broad view. I go around, I talk to a lot of companies in the Midwest, as does my team. And so it's important for us to bring that knowledge back to the table and have a relationship so that we're not just meeting somebody and we're having a surface level discussion. We're having that next layer of discussion. We're diving a little bit deeper. So ultimately, we can help the Iowa economy continue to thrive.
And one of the places to build those relationships is the ABI Taking Care of Business Conference this summer. There is a lot to be excited about with this conference coming up. What is your most favorite part of being an ABI member?
Well, anybody that knows me knows that the social aspect is definitely my favorite. I'm thrilled that we are able to have the conference in person, and it really is exactly what I was talking about. It is that spot where you come together and you realize who else is connected or who will benefit by being connected. So every year there's an opportunity where not only I see a lot of my friends that I've known for many years, but I meet somebody new. And in that discussion, I recognize, what's one of the hurdles that they're trying to overcome, or what is their real big goal? Like what's out there and they don't know how they're going to get there. who can I connect them with, or how can I help them with that? And I think at the end of the day, the conference is so fun because everyone comes willing to have those discussions and willing to move forward and really appreciate why we're in Iowa. And we have a lot to celebrate there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. And if you're interested in reading Kelly's blog or learning more about the Taking Care of Business Conference, you can visit our website at www.iowaabi.org.